back to Blighty and welcome back. I'm joining you today on the south coast of England where I live with my partner, our son and our Springer Spaniel called Molly. So if you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you're new to the podcast, this is where I talk about things sort of knitting and sewing related and all sorts of crafty goodies really. I like to share my works in progress, what my plans are, and just having a general chat really as well. So welcome to everybody who's out there. Now this is podcast 4. I know, I podcast ages ago and I always say this and I always say, oh, it's been a while and everything else, and I always get really busy and I don't know what happens, life just gets in the way. So so this is only number 4. But we're doing really well and I'm still enjoying it, but I'm just not going to promise anymore. I keep saying, yeah, I'm going to podcast more regularly, but sometimes just life gets in the way. I had an amazing summer holiday before we get started. I had an amazing summer holiday, and wasn't the weather just fabulous here in Blighty? It was quite something else. So so I had some time in the garden, caught up with friends, and then it got a bit busy sort of in August. We had a loss in the family, unfortunately, so there was an awful lot of sorting out there. And then I was ill for a week. Now, I work in education, all term time, never ill. As soon as I'm off, I go down with something, and I had this awful stomach bug for a week. And I really wanted to podcast that week, and honestly, you wouldn't have wanted to see me on camera. It wasn't pretty. So that put pay to that. But at the end of the summer holiday, I went up to Yorkshire with my family and we spent some time with our amazing friends, and it's just on this farm in the middle of nowhere. It's just beautiful. So we sort of recuperated, and yeah, that was really nice. And then it was like, bam, straight back into work again. So I've just finished work and I'm not going to get time to podcast again. So the house is quiet. I'm actually in my kitchen today because the light's fairly good, I think. It's not too bad, and I kind of thought it's better for you to see things in natural light if you possibly can. So if the light starts to fade a little bit, I've been talking too long, but we'll go with it. The elephant in the room. I've got some specs. Look at those. What do you think? They make me look quite intelligent. Well, I have worn glasses for a while for reading, but what I was finding was that it was really annoying me, especially if I was in a conference or a meeting of some kind and it was a big table, that I would constantly be taking my glasses on and off, and it was really annoying me. So I had noticed that when I was driving that my vision wasn't quite up to scratch. So I've now gone for variofocals, I think they're called. Yeah, variofocals. And yeah, I'm getting old, I've decided. But actually I quite like them now, and I don't notice them at all. It took me a while to get used to them, but I'm really glad I've gone for them. So yeah, so I now have specs all the time, which doesn't bother me. I'm not that vain, so it's okay. Anyway, you're not here to talk about my specs or my stomach bugs or anything else like that. So we'll get on with some goodies that I've been doing. I've done some sewing and some knitting, so I'll start with the sewing first of all. You might remember last time I had some bee fabric that I wanted to make a dress, and it's now a dress. Oops, hello, are you there? Oh, it's now a dress. So it's turned into this dress here. It's really lovely. It's got this really nice fitted bodice. It's got a lined inside, and then I just added a gathered skirt. I've gone very dark, that's better. What I shall do is I shall pop in some photos or a short video of me wearing it. It's really cold today, so I don't want to be prancing around in the garden in this, but yeah, really pleased with it. The pattern I used was the New Look 6390. I shall show you a picture here. There we go. And I did this one up here. I didn't have enough fabric for the skirt, so I just did a gathered skirt. So I just used the whole width of the fabric and yeah, made a gathered skirt from that. But I'm really, really pleased with this dress. And I wanted to try out this bodice pattern because I've got something rather special later on that I want to make, and this was the pattern that I had in mind. But great pattern, great fit, didn't have to change anything at all. The only thing are you there? Just have to keep waiting to autofocus. The only thing that I might change if I do it again is I might just take the straps in slightly. I'm very narrow across my back, so I do tend to find things slip. So yeah, so I'll probably make that alteration, but it's fine if you don't move around too much. But when I last wore it, I was dancing a bit, and yeah, it's just a bit irritating when they just slip a bit. So yeah, good wide straps though, covers your bra strap. Everyone's a winner. But great pattern, love that. So that was the first thing I sewed up. The next thing I made was in this lovely fabric here, which has got snails on it. I'll give you a little close up so you can see. I'm just trying to point out a snail. There's one there. Can you see it? There you go. This lovely fabric is a cotton lawn, and I got this when I met up with a lovely sewing friend, and we went up to Chichester, and I got this fabric, and I can't for the life of me now remember what the name of the shop was. But I knew I wanted to make the Grainline Studio Alder Archer shirt dress. Alder shirt dress. Here we go with the faux pas. So I decided to make this. I've made this once before. It's a great pattern. Love this pattern. But what I did this time is I didn't do the gathered skirt. Are you ready now? Focused? I didn't do the gathered skirt. I just did an A-line skirt. Just because I didn't have that much fabric, wanted to use as much of it as I could. So really pleased with it. And when it was really hot, I wore it all the time. So it was brilliant. Loved it. Omitted the pockets this time. Last time I did pockets. And I pattern matched them so well that I couldn't actually find them. I can't find them half the time. So yeah, so really pleased with that. It's a great pattern. If you haven't used the Grainline Studio Alder shirt dress, I really recommend it. It's brilliant, and especially if you haven't done shirts before, sort of the whole placket and collar thing is so clear, so it's really worth a buy, that one. So that is my sewing goodies. I've made a couple of project bags, things like that, which I'll talk to you about later, but otherwise that's as far as my sewing has gone at the moment. Oh, you know the bee top that I made that I needed to bind the armholes? Still haven't done it. Still haven't done it. It's a 5-minute job, and I just, yeah, what can I say? I'll do it. It looks nice on Dolly, so, you know, it'll be fine. It'll get done. I'm not going to put myself under too much pressure. So, let's talk some knitting goodness. Now, I have been quite busy, and I've got an awful lot of socks, actually, so I hope you like socks. So, here's my first pair. So, these are just beautiful. Last time I had made one of them, I think, and I was about to embark on making the second one. I love this yarn. It's by Down Sheepy Lane in the dough colourway, and it is just so lovely and soft. I love it. But the pattern is the Snowfall pattern by Tabitha Gandee, so I'm going to give you a little close-up of that. And it's so nice. It's this lovely rippled effect. Yeah, love these socks. Been waiting to wear them, and it's been a while actually for woolly socks, but I know I'm going to love them. They are probably one of my favourite pairs I've ever made. I just think the yarn and the pattern combo is just great. Love it. So that's those. I also used up another ball of my, what's it called? Head over heels? I don't know. I shall put it in the link below. But I made a pair of socks out of this yarn last time I podcast, and I wasn't feeling it. It was splitty. The stripes were different thicknesses, so the socks weren't identical, which with me and my sort of, you know, controlling tendencies, like everything to be the same. So I thought, okay, next time I'm going to do contrasting heels, toes and cuffs, and it won't matter. So I used up one of the other ones, which was the boho colourway, And I used some of my sparkly sock yarn for the heels, toes and cuffs, just some I had left over. And here they are. There you go. So yeah, so pretty pleased with those. What can I say? The yarn's alright. They look nice enough, but just okay. Wouldn't buy it again. Wouldn't buy it again. I mean, it's, you know, relatively cheap yarn. I think it was about £7 a ball, which, you know, isn't anything. And I know they're going to be really hard wearing. They're just not really soft and luxurious. And I kind of think if you're going to spend all that time knitting a pair of socks, then they might as well be soft and gorgeous and lovely. However, the sparkly heels, toes and cuffs are, I don't know if you can see that. Focus. Are soft. Very soft because it's my yarn. Anyway, so did those. And then I made the Mercury Socks, which are by Kim Drotter. I think that's how you pronounce your name, Kim. Sorry if it's not. I'm not very good at pronunciations and things like that. I'm just going to put them on my bunnies. So this pattern was really, really lovely. I'm not a big lace fan. I don't know, I don't mind a bit of lace, but I'm just not a big lacy person. It's just not me, really. So with this one, I decided to do the Mercury Socks just to see what it was like. Oh, sorry, itchy nose. And sorry, camera's flashing again. I think it's fine. Just carry on, pretend not to notice. Anyway, so I decided that I would try out the Mercury Socks and I love them. So here they are. There you go. Is that focusing? Okay, so there's this lovely, lovely lace detail here, which is really pretty. And I use my hydrangea colourway, which I think there might be one still left in the shop, so you can head on over to there. I'll put a link below. And I used this. I can't get my words out. I used a little mini that I put in with the sock kits for the heels, toes and cuffs. And the cuff this time I shamelessly stole off of somebody, and I can't remember who, of just doing a couple of rows there. But I really like that effect of just having that little tiny detail at the top. So they're great, love them, looking forward to wearing them, and they're okay for lace. I like them. I won't be knitting lots of lace socks in the future, but nevertheless they're really, really nice. Otherwise, my final finished object for my knitting, I'm going to take them off because I've got to use them again in a minute. I knitted the, now let me get this right, Pokiha. Pokiha? I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry. Pokiha shawl by Libby Johnson. And if anyone follows Libby, she has a podcast called Trudy Myrtle Podcast, and it's probably one of my favourites. She just seems so wonderful and lovely, and I love all her patterns. And I thought, well, I wanted another shawl, so I thought I'll give one of her shawl patterns a go. And I happened to dye up some double knit yarn for my shop, and before I sort of put it out there, I wanted to work with it, and I wanted to see how it dyed up and things like that. So I wanted quite a plain shawl, one that I could see the stitch definition. So I went with this shawl, and I love it. It's amazing. It's brilliant. There we go. I don't know how much you can see. So it's got a pointy back bit here, and then it's got these lovely side panels. Can you see? I don't know if you can. I absolutely adore this shawl. The yarn is so beautiful. It's 50% baby alpaca and 50% merino, and it is so soft. And I shall pop it on so you can have a look. So it's designed so that these little corners here sort of sit and stop it falling off your shoulders, which I really, really like. but I'm a wrapper. Anyone else a wrapper? So yeah, so you can see it just sits beautifully. I'm gonna turn around, excuse my chair in the kitchen, so wood on tiles is doesn't work very well. So yeah, so happy with it. Really love that detail. It's gorgeous. So if anyone wants a simple pattern, I do recommend that one. No changes apart from I finished 3 rows short on the border, which you can't tell. It's fine. Purely because I was playing yarn chicken and I didn't want to use another skein of yarn just for the sake of a few rows. So yeah, so really pleased. But really nice, and you know, just look at that stitch definition on there. Look at that. Love it. So yeah, so Pokey Herschel by Libby Johnson. It's a winner. Love it. It's brilliant. Whew, quite hot after putting that on. Okay, so what else have I got to show you? Oh, I better show you my failure. Okay, so these are now my works in progress, but I'm going to start off with my failure because I'm really sorry, I've got a bit of an itchy nose for some reason. Bit of a failure because I'm not going to knit with it anymore. I've made a decision. Made a decision. I don't like it, and as far as I'm concerned, life is far too short to knit things that you don't like very much, so I'm just going to scrap it. It is the Mercury cardigan. Now it's not the pattern at all, and I still want to make this pattern, so I've just had trials and tribulations with it, so I'm just gonna, it's me, it's not the pattern, it's me, completely me. So anyway, this is the cardigan, which I showed you last time, and look, there's a sleeve, ta-da! But what I didn't realise is that I took my needles off so that I could get on with my Pokey Herschel, and I realised that one needle was 4.5 and the other was 5. And I hadn't realised, and I thought, well, that's okay, I can still do the other sleeve. And I was thinking about it, and do you know what, I just don't like the yarn. I don't like the yarn. I like the colour, love the colour, but I just don't like it. And I think there's something that Arnie and Carlos said in one of their podcasts when they said you should buy the yarn you can afford, and at the time I just thought, I should buy that because it's cheap. You know, I could have afforded something a little bit more, but I thought I'll just buy it because it's cheap and it's online, and if it's not quite right, it doesn't matter. And I shouldn't have done it. So I'm not that happy with the yarn. It's just rough. I'm not going to wear it. I've decided that if I made it and if I finished it, am I going to wear it? Probably not. So yeah, that's my thinking. I feel like I'm having a conversation with myself. Anyway, the pattern is great. I love the pattern. I'll make it again. That's that bit. The thing I didn't point out to you last time is the actual pattern has a little keyhole at the back. I don't like it, so I just did it without. So look, the light's going a bit strange. Sorry guys, I'll move in a bit. Yeah, so I missed out that just because I'm not, you know, not into things like that. It's not my style really. Lace holes, maybe there's a theme. Anyway, so this is going to get unravelled, and I'm going to give it to my lovely friend who belongs to the WI, and I'm sure they'll make some use out of it. So I'm going to make the pattern not in this yarn. This was Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, I think. It's just really rough. And I don't mind a jumper that has got wool in it, but I think with this one you would have to wear a dress or a like a little vest top underneath it because of the short sleeves, and I just don't think I'd like that next to my skin. So I'm gonna frog it back and give the yarn away and get some more yarn and make it. But probably not this year because we're getting into long sleeve season here in Blighty. Autumn's coming, so yeah, so that was my fail. Otherwise, I've been sock knitting. So I'm going to show you the sock. Now these socks, I've got half of it done, actually more than half, 3/4 there really. This sock pattern is the Ripple Socks by Mina, Phillip, and love it. So look at those ripples, they are so gorgeous. Now this yarn is from Woolly Mama Yarns, and it's the Silversmith colourway, and it is just really lovely. You see those flecks of colour in there. I'm trying to look so I don't obscure you. Really nice. And I love the pattern. Love, love, love it. They come up a bit smaller. That's the one thing I did notice, obviously because of the cable stitches. They came up a bit snugger. Snugger, is that a word even? But yeah, but they're going to be fine on me. I don't mind them slightly snugger. Snugger, I keep saying it now. Add that to your dictionary, guys. I don't mind them a little bit more fitted because my socks, I tend to knit them on the slightly looser side anyway, so that's fine. So I've got another one of those to knit up. I am already, just sort my needles out. I'm already this far in. So yeah, get it out of the light for you. So I've turned the heel and now I'm just on the foot. So they're not going to take that long to do. So yeah, love that project. Really like those socks. They're going to be grand. And the other thing I started doing was my new socks in my Around the World in 80 Days colourway. Now, here they are here. Can you see that? Yes, and there's the mini as well. Love this yarn. It's really nice. I kind of wanted a vintage tone, and these are perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. So I've decided to knit some socks in this. So just knitting a vanilla sock, or I thought I was knitting a vanilla sock because I just wanted to show off the colours of the sock, and it's coming out beautifully. Focus. Is that focusing? I think it is. Let me just come a bit closer for you. There you go. So it's looking amazing. Now, hello. Hey. So as I said, I was going to do a vanilla sock, but then I was on Ravelry, which I spend most of my time when I've got a free minute, you know, looking on the internet. That's what I go for, Instagram Ravelry. I decided that, well, I saw this pattern called Love Socks, is it called? Let me have a look, I did write it down. Love Socks by Devon Clement. And she does this little pattern where you can actually put a little heart on your heel. So, now, this is my first attempt. Oh, you see that? My first attempt at colour work, and as you can see, it's puckered slightly, which I think will be fine because it's on my heel, so it's going to stretch out. So I think that is going to stretch out okay. Because what I didn't do is I did every 3 stitches I carried the yarn. Now the pattern calls for intarsia, but I wanted to carry the yarn because I thought it might be a little bit more hard wearing. But what I didn't do is I didn't alternate it with like knitting 2 and then carrying the yarn and then knitting 3. So you're supposed to go, am I making sense? So yeah, so if you do the first row, 3 stitches, carry it, 3 stitches, carry it. The second row you might do 2 stitches, carry it, 3 stitches, carry it, 3 stitches. Does that make sense? So then you don't have those lines. Now I didn't know that because I just, you know, went ahead and thought, yeah, I know what I'm doing, you know, like you do. So I've got these little puckers. It's on the heel, it's going to stretch out, so I'm not too bothered by it, but on the next one I'm going to do it the right way. But I really love this this yarn. Let me see if I can pop it on a blocker to show you a bit better, because I think it was all a bit creased and it's been in my little bag for ages. So yeah, oh, just stabbing myself there. So yeah, just get my needles out of the way. So that's what it's gonna look like. Look at that. Love that yarn. It's really nice. Still a bit of that left in the shop. I'll put the link below. So yeah, so really, really pleased with that. And I'm keeping this in my little sock bag, which I shall show you. Teeny tiny sock bag. And inside there are little anchors. Can you see those? but it's perfect. So it fits in both my little balls of yarn and my socks, and it's just the perfect size for chucking in your bag. So I keep this in my handbag, and when I'm in between schools and going to different meetings, if I turn up sort of 5-10 minutes early, out comes my little bag, and I can do a few rows of my sock knitting, which is perfect. So this is my new size, really, really handy. And they have a square base as well, so it fits lots in. Phew! Right, I've got a bit of a new segment. It's a golden oldie, and this isn't something that I've made, it's something that my mum made probably 47-ish years ago, so a long time ago. And I came across this because my mum passed away a couple of years ago, and we found this, and it was a bit yellowing and a bit sad, so I brought it home and I washed it, and yeah, I thought it'd just be really nice to share it with you. And also it must have taken her quite some time to do it, especially in those days when you didn't have sort of all the nice, you know, lovely needles and things to make your knitting a little bit more exciting. It's got hair on it, and it's like dark hair. No one in my family has dark hair, which is a bit weird. But anyway, so I apologise if you can see dark hair. Very strange. Anyway, so she made this christening gown, and it would have had a little ribbon going around this part here, so it would have had a blue ribbon. And the reason it would have had a blue ribbon is because my brothers wore it, both my older and my younger brothers wore it, but I didn't because I was too fat. Yes. Although my mum always said that it was because I was older. I think I was just too fat. Anyway, so yeah, so it's got this gorgeous little top bit, and then as you work further down, it's got this lace here. And I just think it was gorgeous. What I shall do is I shall try and pop in a photograph of one of my brothers wearing it. But it's just really lovely, and you know, it's so nice to have it in the family, really, so I shall pass it on. Mum made a little white slip underneath as well, so it was nice and soft next to baby's skin, because it's very woolly. It's certainly a wool that she got to work with, but just look at that lace pattern. It's really pretty. So that is my golden oldie, and it's beautiful. So yeah, and I managed to get it was quite yellowing around the top, and it's pretty much come out. And that's the trouble with things as they get old, but you know, it's not bad for nearly 50 years old, and yeah, it's beautiful, so it's something to treasure. So that was my golden oldie. Now, lastly, or second to lastly I should say, I've got such a mound here, I'm just going to like move stuff because I can't see a thing. Okay, acquisitions. Now I have got one acquisition. I haven't actually bought very much. I think because I've been using a bit of my own yarn, I haven't really gone out of my way to buy anything, but I am going to soon, because I would like to make either the hoodie shawl cardigan or the floozy cardigan by Libby Johnson. And the hoodie shawl cardigan, I can't even speak, again, the hoodie shawl cardigan is by Suzanne Summer. And that's brilliant. It's like you start it as a shawl, and then you add sleeves and the body and a hood, and it looks amazing. So either that or the floozy cardigan. I'm going to dye my own yarn for them. I don't know what I'm going to do first. I'd like to do both of them because Libby Johnson's patterns are just phenomenal and brilliant, and but I fancy something a bit different. So I think I'm going to do the hoodie shawl cardigan, so have a look at that on Ravelry, or have a look at both of them on Ravelry, because they're both brilliant. So I haven't got any acquisitions because I'm thinking that I'm going to dye my own yarn to make one of those cardigans next. But I have bought something else which isn't knitting, and it's kind of not sewing clothes, but it is an embroidery kit, and I'm going to get it out of the plastic because I don't think you'll see it with the reflection on the plastic. So here we go. So this is Spring Ladybugs Stitchscape, and it's by Beth Power of Dotty Textiles. Look, isn't that the cutest? So it's kind of like you get all these strips of fabric, and then you do little embroidery around the ladybirds and the pond life and things like that. And in the kit, this is where it all falls apart, you get all these lovely fabrics and embroidery flosses. So I'm really looking forward to starting that. When I get a minute, I don't know, concentration wise, I haven't got a lot of time for concentration at the moment, so but I will start that, but it's going to have to be a good light project, I think. So yeah, so that is it as far as sewing, knitting, acquisitions, golden oldie. I think that's it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of a shop update for you. If you've joined me up until now, thank you so much for joining me. The other thing I was going to talk to you about before I do my shop update was that we now have a Ravelry group, so the Back to Blighty podcast. So if you'd like to pop over there and join, at the moment I've just put an Ask Me Anything thread because I thought it might be quite fun if you want to know anything about me or my knitting or my sewing or whatever. You can just pop something in there, and soon there's going to be some exciting things afoot, so it's well worth joining that if you get a moment. So if you've joined me up until now, thank you so much. Please leave a comment or like this video or whatever you want to do. It would be nice to hear from you. So thank you, and I'm going to now get on with the shop update. So let's see. So along with the DK weight that I did for the Pokeha shawl, that's right, I dyed up some more Woodland Nymph colourway. I did a pastel one and I did a bright one. I think there's still some of the bright left in, but the pastel has sold out now. But I did also dye up some blue and pink. So there we go. This is the Mr. Blue Sky colourway. So yeah, I love that colourway. So pretty. As I said before, I omitted the few rows on the shawl, but I did go up a half needle size, so I'm sure that if you kept it to the needle size that was recommended in the pattern, you will get the whole thing out of these two. But I love them, they're so pretty, and I kind of think I want to keep them, but there's only so many shawls you can wear. Yeah, so they're in the shop. Another one that I have just put up in the shop recently is the Last of the Sunflowers colourway sock set. There we go. So there's lots of speckles and lots of browns in that. The brown is a really rich tone, I don't know if you can see that, but there's lots and lots of speckles. So that's that one. Okay, I've also got the Woodland Nymph on a sock base as well. So here we go, you can see tonally that they're the same, but this is the sock set. Again, speckles, lovely moss greens. So really pretty. And lastly, I have some sock sets and project bags as well. So here is my Around the World in 80 Days, which I showed you on the sock just now. So there we go, some lovely, lovely vintagey tones in that. And they also come with a bag. Now, again, this is the same size as my little sock bag here. This is the blue one. I'll just pop the bottom out so you can see. So this is the blue one. And inside there are, I can show you, there's maps inside, which is quite cool. So there's a blue one, and there is a white one with a blue zip, and again with the map inside. There we go. So they are also available in the shop. These are great for gifts for knitty people, but also to treat yourself as well. And why not? So there's some other things still in the shop, so if you're interested, hop on over there, snap yourself up some lovely knitting goodness. Otherwise, I think that's it from me. Sorry it's all been a little bit all over the place, and hopefully I shall pop in some footage of the dresses. If not, you can always go and see me on Ravelry and on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. All the links will be down below. I was going to say downstairs, down below. So yeah, so thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.